Whether it's the very casual cover 3 sky till you die scheme, or maybe a little bit more advanced running cover 3 sky with a good switch stick, or the pro favorite, which is the cover 3 cloud defense, you have to have a quick strike one play touchdown against this coverage in your back pocket. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my absolute favorite out of the bunch tight end. Let's go. Now, I know I talk about it in every single video, so I'll be very brief here. I just want to let you know that today's setup comes to you out of my Minnesota Vikings gun bunch tight end portion of my offensive game plan. You guys can find the entire scheme on gridirongameplans.gg. This comes with a complete bunch tight end, also with a tight Y off week, and also our ace offense, which is so good down in the red zone. So make sure you guys go check that out. Link in the description. Now, the play that we're going to run today is totally up to you, but I am going to provide you guys with a little bit of insight. One of my favorite things to do if I'm getting stunted frequently is base out of the play known as PA verticals. And what I'll do is I'll go to either an empty or a base protection. That way I don't get any of that stock half slide. If your opponent is running regular plays, you don't really have to worry too much about basing out of a play action play, and you could just choose anything you want. I'm going to call a regular cover 3 sky defense, and we're going to go through the exact setup that I prefer. Now, with this particular play, I prefer my bunch to be on the wide side of the field, meaning that your tight end running back will be on the short hash. So with something like this, I would want my bunch to the left side. And obviously, if I were on the other hash, I would flip my formation. Now, I'm going to base out of the play mesh because it's so simple to set up. You don't really have to do a whole hell of a lot, and it only relies on 3 routes. You're going to come out and immediately streak both your tight end and your point man of your bunch. Then from there, it is totally optional what you do with the following players: the inside most receiver, which in this case is Garrett Wilson, and the running back. If you feel like you need extra pass protection, I would recommend blocking your running back. And one of my favorite routes that I like to throw is a check down is going to be Garrett Wilson on the return. And if you guys have the quarterback playmaker ability, this is great for redirecting up the field. From there, all you really need to do is stem down your corner route as far as you can go. And what you're going to see with this is that when you snap the ball, you're going to have this window where you can freeform the ball in between the safety and the outside corner on the wide side of the field. This is what we call a double seam concept. You'll get players online that are telling you that you're cheating or you're glitching their coverage, but in all reality, the double seam is a very good counter for a cover 3 because it places the middle third defender in the cover 3 defense into conflict with 2 routes attacking vertically. Because of this, he must split the difference. And you see that he just stays in between the hash marks. Now let's flip our attention to the outside third on the bunch side of the field. He is also in conflict with 2 routes attacking him vertically on this play. The first is that stem down corner, the second of which is that same seam. Now, because this particular safety thinks that he's got help to the inside in the form of that middle third, he is going to kind of hedge his bet towards the corner a little bit more, which opens up the throw down the seam. Now, again, going back to what I just iterated with the middle third defender, he has to split his attention too. So he is actually kind of midpointing or apexing both of these players, and he's expecting that the outside throw, he'll have help. So this is a case of 2 players thinking that they've got help from the opposite player, and you have this window that you can thread. Now, in terms of how this works, we are just going to let this streak get behind the hook curl defender, and then I am freeforming this ball literally up and only slightly to the outside. So I'm trying to throw this ball into this area right here and just let this receiver run underneath of it. And you see right here that he crosses right through that reticle, and we're able to catch it. And the right rat catch animation, you're going to be out for a 1 play touchdown. This is something that is so simple to run against any cover 3 defense in the game. In fact, let me go ahead and show you guys the pro favorite out there, which is going to be the cover 3 cloud. So a lot of players love this defense as well. It provides them the ability to have the corner that is on the non-nickel side in flat coverage support, while having the slot corner on the bunch side of the field in curl flat support. Kind of gives you that vibe of being able to play kind of like a cover 2 underneath, even though it's not really a 2 deep defense, it's actually a 3 deep defense, and have your outside corner and run support on that one side, and then you're playing more of a cover 3 look on the other. The interesting thing about this is that with a cover 3 cloud, the safety that's going to be on the bunch side is the one that is the middle third defender. So he's hedging his attention towards that bunch a little bit more. Let's see if that actually does anything to deter us from throwing this ball. So again, here's our base setup. I stem down my corner route. I snap the ball. I let Y clear that player, and you're just going to throw that little free form outside. So you can still hit that throw very easily. It's just a timing based throw. I'll throw this again for you. So again, this is all we're doing. double seams, stem down corner. From there, it's totally up to you what you want to do with the rest of your play. You could do returns. You could do whips that go back out to the flat underneath the corner route. You could do drag and then a running back on an in route to kind of mesh the middle of the field. Again, we're just paying attention to this wide receiver. You want to get this ball free formed in between those two players. And you see that there's still a path to being able to throw that ball. Now with the cover 3 cloud, there is actually another thing that I will sometimes do if I know my opponent is calling it. And that is I will place the outside third on the short side of the field in conflict by running a comeback route that I will motion out. If you guys don't like that option, another thing that you could do is motion across the B receiver for this same goal. Again, you could use the running back or the B receiver to do this. And what this is going to do is this is going to create that same type of window to our tight end. Now, what you want to avoid is throwing the ball outside. So don't make the mistake that I just showed you there, because I've seen a lot of people will freeform this incorrectly. So you want to make sure that you just kind of understand the safety that's responsible for the middle third is cheating all the way to the bunch side. The inside pass lead to the tight end, once he gets behind that hook, is actually the one that you want. Now, again, if you just throw an inside pass lead, I didn't even freeform that. It was a little bit scary. I would probably freeform that straight over the top to 12 o'clock. So I'll do this again. I'm going to put this player Wilson in motion. We're running the double seam concept with a corner route to pull the outside third on the left, the comeback route to pull the outside third on the right. And I'm just going to freeform this sucker straight up. And you see how we're able to thread that and get a better animation where that safety can't cheat over. So you actually can fit the seam to either player with this particular concept. It's so easy to run. Now, if you guys are running into this online, a lot of players would wonder, what is the best counter for this? Now, I would probably go to a match-based defense in general. I would still probably avoid a cover 3 match. And the reason for this is that you're still going to have issues with players that are going to be trailing on these seams. So again, a lot of times with this, you're gonna see this right here. Look at how I can still thread this ball into this window. Cover 3 match is not necessarily gonna solve this issue. They kind of match it and then drop it off once they think that the safety can get to it. But again, the safety is in the same conflict that he was in with our initial setup in this video. So when you take a look here at the top side safety, and this is also for what it's worth with the safety at default depth, so many players are gonna play their safety in close depth, and this is gonna be an even easier throw. It's actually harder with what I've got here with the safety at the stock depth on this play. But again, you see right here how he can't really play the outside pass lead to 17 because he's got to be able to respect the throw to 87. And then on the far side of the field, you see that number 10 is keeping the white jersey number 7 out close to the sideline, which opens up that giant patch of turf that you can throw to. So your opponent is going to have to switch stick this. And if they're going to switch stick it accordingly, they're going to switch stick up to the middle third and jump 17, which is going to leave an inside pass lead to 87 open. So if you're playing someone that likes to switch stick to take this away, you're still going to have a pass to one of those two seams pretty available to you in this particular call. So cover 3 is not a solve for this. Now, of course, another issue you guys might run into is you're not really going to be able to run a cover 2 defense either. So if you go up against somebody running something like this, my recommendation would actually be to run more of a cover 4 match. With a cover 4 match, at least you're going to get the safety that can kind of play this, and I can't throw either of those two throws. You might be able to throw a back shoulder ball down the seam and kind of freeform it like you would against man-to-man, but you're not going to have the run out touchdown over the top. So you see right here when I do this, it's more of an outside pass lead that I might be able to throw that you should be scared of, but it's not the over the top ball. So it's going to require a little bit of more precision and free forming against the match defense. Of course, if you were to call a spot drop cover 4, that's going to be another option that is really available to you as well. Not a lot of players like the base out of that, just because, you know, again, you're putting yourself in a situation where playmaker is much more viable. When I see spot drop cover 4, I certainly know that, you know, I'm going to be able to pretty easily throw redirection. So this is part of the reason I talked about the way that I run this, is that I have this little return route and I could throw it now. I could also roll out, playmaker it up the field. And you see what cover 4 zone does. It just makes it so difficult. So while we can take away the over the top component to this concept, it's still very, very good against the zones that players will use to prevent that. And you're still going to pick up chunk yardage either way. So that is one of my absolute favorite plays in the game. Make sure you guys go check out the rest of my bunch tight end game plan on gridirongameplans.gg. I'm going to get up out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.